So we've touched on cryptocurrencies quite a bit as we've been talking. Obviously the public's perception is really clouded by last year's explosive growth in Bitcoin and to a lesser extent Ether and various other crypto coins. Do you see the DOVU token that you're making as a store of value for speculation and investor, or is it more about exchange and a daily use? How do you see your token?
Yeah, good question. I think there's a sort of separation needed really between a cryptocurrency, which is really designed to replace so-called fiat currencies, government-backed sort of currencies. So instead of using a dollar, I'll use Bitcoin, and separate that out from tokens. And tokens as a utility, tokens as that delivers some extra value. So from DOVU's perspective, we're not a currency. We're not looking to replace the pound or the dollar or the euro. So you're not going to be buying your car, in DOVUs. You might, and you will in Bitcoin. So that's the sort of separation. And I think that the utility aspect of it is, yes, you can buy one of our tokens from an exchange, but you need to be able to redeem that token once you've bought it for a service, for something else, and it's not just there sitting on an exchange for speculation. So you can't stop that. It's when something is on an exchange, it's nearly impossible to stop that. But DOVU's sort of business model is to enable somebody to, as I say, one, it's all about earning it, but as I say, if you do want to buy it on an exchange, then you have that token and it's there to be used within our ecosystem and be more valuable within that ecosystem than it would be just for pure speculation.
So some people watching this video may be aware that you were featured in the March issue of Wired magazine in the UK, talking about your ICO or initial coin offering. Would you recommend that as an experience for other businesses as a way of raising money? How was the process?
Yeah, it was an interesting process. It's a very new way of fundraising, and you have to learn a lot as you go along. Luckily, we had some great advisors. We engaged sort of KPMG early on in the process. We were lucky enough to have Lars Klaviter on board, who was on the original Ethereum project board in 2013, but also the ex-CTO of Rolls-Royce. So having some experience of the OEM industry and the sort of crypto industry, I think he's pretty unique in that, really. And then having some sort of advice and setup from sort of KPMG. Having said that, you then leap into the unknown, and then you're operating in a world where you've got countries like China banning them, and then you've got America really unsure about what the heck to do. And so there's a whole range of political and economic sort of situations that are out there. But the key for us really is that if you're straightforward, you're very transparent about what it is that you're looking to build as a business, what you're going to use the funds for, what you're looking to raise, then we were very confident of sort of that approach. That method of fundraising isn't going away, and I think in the first quarter of 2018, $5.4 something billion has been raised through that form of funding, pretty much exactly the same amount as done last year. So there's a huge amount of money coming into it. It's a great way of capitalizing your business in a way that you can start to think about building your business 3 years out. Because the traditional method of funding a tech business can be very prohibitive. You go through your seed round, then you got your A round and your B round, and for that you have to sort of focus on some short-term goals in order to do that. And sometimes those short-term goals aren't the right goals to be looking at. So for us to be able to think about longer-term goals, and also the route of sort of doing a token sale, an ICO, is that you're actually not focused on your exit, because you've created liquidity as a founder in your business, So the age-old question is like, what's your exit strategy? You know, I mean, which is nuts. The idea that I'm sat there trying to build a business and I'm already thinking how I'm going to sell it, and I'm encouraged to do that because a venture capital company, you know, wants me to do that, wants me to think about that exit. Is just counterintuitive. Most entrepreneurs make that up. Oh, it'll be a trade sale, you know, it'll be an IPO. Basically, I don't know. You know, we'll see how it goes. Well, I don't have to think about that as a CEO. I think about building the business and what does it look like 3 years from now. We have enough capital, you know, to get our business to where it needs to get to, without thinking about exit, without thinking about another fundraise. And then in terms of the process itself, you know, it's anybody who's done crowdfunding. You know, it's that. It's a sort of it's that, but sort of like on steroids. It was exciting, and I highly recommend it.